So hi everyone. I think I will start recording the presentation now so that everyone else can listen to this recording again and can review it again. Is that okay for all of you?
Okay with me.
So I will start my screen share now.
Sure.
So this is my first presentation at the WordPress Work Along, and I just want to let you know that I have two kittens that is running around under my legs. So if there's just some noise, so you know that is the kitten. So lately, Noventum had just successfully replaced MailChimp with MailPoet for one of our clients, Diana Kirkpatrick, after she ran into a problem with MailChimp. And this is her problem. So she used this image in her August newsletter, but unfortunately, MailChimp misidentified this as a pornography, so they just suddenly disable her account, and yeah, then she has no choice but to find another solution to send out her newsletter. And that's why we help her with the MailPoet. And so today I want to talk about MailPoet. So in case you are in a similar situation, you know what you need to do. And this is the agenda for today. I will show you the difference between MailPoet and MailChimp, what MailPoet offer the customer, how do you install and activate a free premium account on MailPoet, and most importantly, what you need to do after you already replace MailPoet, replace MailChimp with MailPoet. So for Dinah, it is important to replace MailChimp sign-up form with MailPoet sign-up form. And I also share with you the two premium feature that I think very cool, which is MailPoet sending service and the DKIM email authentication. So when Dinah decided to switch to MailPoet, her goal is to find a solution that has like a friendly interface so that it's easy for her to create her the newsletter in the future. And of course, she also wants a good customer service because she was quite upset that MailChimp suddenly disable her account. And lastly, and more importantly, is that she wants to ensure that no data of her subscriber lost, and she also requires a new sign-up form for MailPoet, which means when a new customer sign up for newsletter in her website, those information will go to MailPoet instead of MailChimp. So first, I will share with you the difference between MailPoet and MailChimp. So at Noventum, we still use MailChimp, and it is still the most popular mass email solution in the world. For MailPoet, it is different. MailPoet is like an email plugin for WordPress users. So they make it easy for WordPress users to use it. They can simply drop the content from their website to the newsletter. And I myself experienced both MailChimp and MailPoet, and I think that they both have very straightforward and simple interface, which make you like get used to on the button very quickly when after you start. And one thing I like about MailPoet is that they have beautiful templates that help you a lot with the design. And one cool thing about MailPoet is that you don't need the account to activate the plugin, but you still can send a limited number of email to your list and subscribers. And the other cool thing is that they offer you a free premium pack plan if you have less than 1,000 subscribers. And after you upgrade to premium account, you can take advantage of most of the premium feature, and two of them are MailPoet sending service and the DKIM authentication, which I will talk about later in the presentation. So this is the interface of MailPoet. It is simple and straightforward. On the left-hand side, you will see 6 tabs. For the setting tab, you go to the setting when you want to make adjustment to the setting of your MailPoet, and help is where you get help. Email tab is where you can create a new newsletter, a welcome emails, a post notification, and up here, so like this is a screenshot, so up here there will be a button that says add new, that you can add new newsletter. Those columns here show you the information of your email campaign, the status, if it is sending or pending, who do you send it to, and what is the result after you send it. So if you are a premium account, there will be more details that for this column. The second tab is the form tab. This is where you create a new form. For example, you create a sign-up form for your website. And the third tab is the subscribers tab. This is all about your subscribers. And this is also where you can manually add new subscriber or import and export the data of your subscriber. List is where you organize and categorize your subscribers into smaller segment, smaller list. And now I will start with how to install the MailPoet. So just let me know if go over too fast so I can slow down. So is the speed good for all of you? Yeah. So because MailPoet is a plugin, it is very similar of how you install other free plugin. You just type the keyword MailPoet, and there's currently there are 2 versions of MailPoet, and I choose this version 3 for Diana because this is the latest one. And as I say, this is like you don't need to create any account to use MailPoet unless you want to upgrade to premium account. And if you want to upgrade your account to premium, there will be a button here under setting and help that say premium. You will go to premium and they will lead you to their website where you can create the MailPoet account. And then you choose a plan of your premium. For example, I choose 0 to 1,000 subscribers plan for Diana. And after that, they will send you an activation key, and you copy the key to your setting in MailPoet in this box and click verify. So the verification process will take about a few hours to a day for MailPoet to verify if you are eligible for the free premium account or not. And then they will show a message here under this box that says successful, for example. And as I say, if you already a premium account, you will want to take advantage of their premium feature. And one of them is the MailPoet sending service. So what is MailPoet sending service? Basically, when you activate MailPoet sending service, you will it means you will send your email through their server, and so MailPoet has a team that like monitor the sending process, and they will check out they will double check the bounce back, so that they can keep your list clean and fresh. So all the email address that no longer used or does not exist, for those email address, your email will not be delivered to them in the future. So that ensures a higher open rate for your email campaigns. And to activate the sending service, after you become a premium account, you go to your setting here and go to the tab Send With. And instead of choose other, you choose MailPoet sending service. And you know that it is activated when you send out a testing campaign. And next to your email address, there a via sending service.net here. And after you've finished replace an email marketing tool to MailPoet system, then you will want to make sure that all the information of your new subscriber will go to MailPoet instead of MailChimp. So you want to replace the MailChimp sign-up form with the MailPoet sign-up form, and these are the 3 steps. So the first step, you will go to form and you will create a new sign-up form here, and it will ask you about the form placement where you want your sign-up form to show up in your website. For Dinah, she already have her sign-up form in the footer of her website, and she does not want to make any change. So I just go to the shortcode and other and copy the shortcode here. Then I will paste the shortcode to the appearance of her website. So appearance, customized widget, and I choose the footer and I copy the code here. And this is her sign up form. Basically, before it was to MailChimp, and after you save this, is the destination will go to MailPoet. And another premium feature for premium account is the DKIM Authentication. So what it is your business digital signature for your email campaign. When you when you set up DKIM, it means you give MailPoet the permission to send emails from your domain. So why do you need the DKIM authentication? It's because to avoid the spoofing attack. For example, if some fraudster using your domain name and send out the phishing email to someone else, DKIM will prevent that. And after you set up DKIM, it will also enable DMARC, an email authentication reporting protocol. So that will also improve your email deliverability, so that it will go to the inbox instead of the spam box. And how would you set up DKIM? The first step is that you need the MailPoet sending service, so that you send your email through the server. And after that, you just go to your MailPoet account on the website and go to the tab My Sender domain and copy your domain here. For example, I sent my campaign, my email campaign through the address abc@abc.com. Then abc.com will be the sender domain that I want to add here. And after I add it, MailPoet will show me 3 DNS records so that I can add to my domain DNS server. At this step, if you have any issue verifying the DNS record, your domain name provider can help you with this step. So I've just shared with you about MailPoet, its function, what you need to do if in case you had to replace an email marketing tool with MailPoet. And thank you a lot for your listening. I can share with you this presentation. If you need it, then just drop me your email address and I will send it to you. So any question for us?
Thanks, Nok. That was actually really interesting.
Thank you, Jenny.
Was the DKIM of the ability to use DKIM, that was strictly with the paid version, is that correct?
With the paid version, what do you mean?
In order to use DKIM authentication, you need to have the paid version, is that correct?
Yeah, so in order to use this, you have to be a premium account, and then you need to send your email through their server. So you have to activate the sending service.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And Jamie, so you use the word paid, right? And Nook replied with the word premium. And that distinction is useful because the premium is free for less than 1,000 subscribers. Then the premium becomes the paid after that point.
Oh, so you could, if you had less than 1,000 subscribers, but you signed up, you could still use their mail service?
Yeah, yeah. So you can actually send it to their sending service for free until 1,000. And I think they have some daily limits there, like so you can't, use either 3 lists that equal 3,000 or send 2 times within a certain time period to the same list, but they're reasonable.
Okay. Cool.
Nook, I think Diana, we should have asked her, but I think Diana would be okay. Do you want to do a screen share? Do you want to show what it looks like from her site? She just sent out a campaign. We helped her with her first campaign and then helped her a little bit with the second, and then she sent out the third one. So she did that completely. Our customer did that, by herself, and she's not the most technical, but she's also not the least technical either.
Let me try to search for her campaign.
So Marcia was asking, I'm not quite sure what she's asking, but let me read this. So MailPoet is the medium for WordPress versus having a website that is built using WordPress? I'm quite sure I understand that question, Marcia.
Can you give me a minute? I try to see his message.
Yeah, it'll be in the chat.
Okay. Where's the chat?
So
So
MailPoet is
MailPoet
is
is
a
a
plugin
medium.
for WordPress.
Yes, this is a plugin for WordPress. It's a free plugin. You can search for the keyword MailPoet and then choose the version you want and install it. At that point, you do not need an account to use it until you want to upgrade it to your account to premium. Is that what you asked?
Yeah. Okay. So she wasn't sure that it was a plugin for WordPress, but I think she understands. So that was actually interesting to me because with MailChimp, you log into your MailChimp account and you build your templates over on MailChimp. But with MailPoet, it looks like you do all that work in the back end on your WordPress website.
And
Yeah. So I can show you the.
yeah, Diana's super cool. I mean, we should have asked, but this is still okay. So,
I will go to the dev site then.
either way, I mean, so we have a dev site too. So, I mean, if you do want to, why don't you show the live site and show what the campaign looks like that she just sent through?
Yeah, so this is the campaign that she had just sent.
7 hours ago.
Yeah, like an hour ago. After we already activate the DKIM authentication for her. So she's a gemstone jewelry designer, and these jewelry are like handmade.
That's a pretty nice looking
Yeah.
mail message.
And let's see.
Nook did the initial design, so she built it out, and then Diana's been copying that. We didn't exactly use their templating system, but we've used the copy of a copy of a copy templating method. So
Okay.
So you can see the MailPoet here. So it is a plugin and it is here. So for MailChimp, you go to the website and sign in to log in your account. For MailPoet, you already activate the plugin, and it will be right here in the dashboard. And for example, you go to email. You add new email here. So this is the dev site. So all of the these are just testing campaigns.
Gotcha. So all of the stuff that you would with MailChimp log into the MailChimp dashboard, you're going to find in the WordPress dashboard.
Yeah. So they build it for WordPress users. So it's pretty cool. So for example, I add new here first, and then I choose create newsletter. And they have a lot of template, which is very cool.
Jamie, the other thing that you might be interested in is you get a lot of cool default lists, like all WordPress users or all MemberPress subscribers of a certain group, right? It really integrates very, very well with the other WordPress pieces of functionality. The other place that we built this out for was the 7 Bar North, which is a homeowners association. So when you buy a house and you're subject to a HOA, they'll have all these rules that'll make your life unpleasant, but they need to communicate that stuff and deal with dues. And it really is a good use case for a members only site. And MailPoet was great for integrating with that. There was not any type of list synchronization, export, import, filter, all the type of crap you'd have to deal with having a members list in one place and then emailing it from another. So it's a really good use case for that. Like, and Jamie, you'd like it because you can configure this arbitrarily. You can use any type of email sending you want, tons of different support. So you could point this to your servers via SMTP or whatever, however you want to authenticate to send that email out. So it's, it's super flexible. And a lot of the stuff that Nook's talking about was, when we were setting this up initially, I said, nah, let's not do DKIM at first. Let's see how setting up DKIM for the third campaign will impact the delivery rates. no, let's not use their sending service at first. Let's see how this works through their native web server sending, and let's see how that impacts delivery rates. So we went through this in an incremental way, and I can't think of anything else we can improve. So that's why.
That's interesting.
So
So when somebody signs up for the mailing list from the front end, does that go into a separate list, or is a WordPress user created like for WooCommerce?
No, it's not a native user, and they're actually not. It's really a pre-list. So there's a confirmation step that they have to actually confirm that email so that they're not added without their permission. So it's the same to comply with all the US CAN Spam Act stuff. They've got the double opt-ins, they've got the physical address fields, for legal issues and stuff like that. So it tries to take care of all of that.
Cool.
So I will stop sharing now, or unless you have some one of the slides that you want to go through.
Anybody else? Let's hear some other questions. Let's hit Nook with your good ones, and I won't.
Yeah, actually, when you're doing the double opt-in for people, have you ever run into problems? We've actually lately been running into problems where someone will double opt into our mailing system, but then either Google will decide that it should be sent to another folder, like their social folder or the promotional folder, and actually won't go to their primary folder. Do they find a way to actually overcome that problem?
So when you use the DKIM authentication, basically what MailPoet say is that it will deliver your email to the inbox instead of spam box, and like promotion, and like as you say. So this is what we are monitor now to see the result from Diana campaign. She had just set up the DKIM like a few days ago and sent the campaign today. So I will check it out to see how it improved the sending after the DKIM activated.
Okay.
And David, if that was you, I don't, or Dane, I don't know who asked that, but one thing that I've done in the past for this, it's called like Bayesian poisoning, and you send a bunch of emails to everybody that works at your company, to all of their personal addresses, and they all click not spam. And after you do that 20 or 30 times, then Google learns that it's not spam, and then your delivery rates can increase. So it just, for the unknown things that nobody's seen before, Google can mark them as spam. But what you're saying, like, I think that sounds more like a individual Gmail configuration issue, because if they're being delivered and they're just being sent into somebody's weird folder, I mean, we've had that, and the client will have a bizarre rule configured and out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Gmail decides those promotion things. It has some interesting rules.
Yeah, can I speak towards that for a second?
Yeah.
Interesting rules is an understatement. So, unfortunately, their algorithms are very complex, and there's no surefire way of beating them. Even if you're using DKIM or SPF, which is what's built into a MailPoet, or even DMARC, it won't make a difference. So, and each individual mailbox is slightly different. So here's the thing. I'm oversimplifying it. If the emails are pretty clear and simple, they don't have a lot of links, there's minimally graphics, if there's no salesy language in there, like free or, that kind of stuff in there, then you are more likely to get through into a regular box than into the promotions box. The Google algorithm does go out of its way to try to see if something is in order. If it's actually, if it seems to be a transactional email, and if it is transactional, they try to skip that promotion box. MailPoet actually has an integration with WooCommerce, and meaning it can send transactional emails nowadays. And that kind of stuff tends to end up in the regular inbox because it looks like an order. So hopefully that was a partial explanation on that.
That's interesting. I didn't realize it was it had an interface with WooCommerce. So how do those does that take the place of some of Woo's mailing of orders and that kind of thing?
So MailChimp can be used as a transactional email system. You know, there's a common wisdom out there that you have you don't send out emails from your own server type of thing, and some people with higher volume stuff sends out the transactions, right? Not the newsletter, not the blog post information, but the transactions. They'll send them out using quote unquote different systems. So I think it's probably maybe 4 months old that they started saying from within MailPoet, using MailPoet, that you can send out all emails through the MailPoet system as opposed to the WordPress system. So that was their first phase. And then the second phase that they did was that they actually can now let you use the MailPoet interface to change the way that WooCommerce email templates look. So it's kind of like,
okay.
That's
like an extra bonus on top of the MailPoet.
So what you're saying is, and I'm not familiar with this, but we could actually use MailPoet sending service as the default, like SMTP gateway or email sending service that the website uses for everything.
Correct. And then in those cases, you do need to be a paid customer. It's kind of like, it's not a matter of subscribers anymore. Yeah. It's a matter of just being one of their customers.
Got
so
it.
It's a little tricky. You know?
Okay.
We have too many problems with email deliveries on those transactional emails. They seem to either go through always, or very, very rare that we have delivery issues with that, sending them directly from the web server. But what would be nice is to use the customization system, because we just go in and modify, like, you know, templates, email templates inside the PHP code to get those transactional emails looking the way the clients want. And it would just be way nicer if they could manage that themselves, or some of them.
Yeah. Which you can now do. By the way, my favorite MailPoet, I'm not trying to hog this or anything like that. My favorite MailPoet feature is where it can be set up to automatically email new blog posts to people. So as something goes up onto somebody's blog entries or news entries, it automatically just shoots off emails to those people.
So we've used the Jetpack plugin for that. There's like this additional layer there, like you can be a subscriber or a notifier or something there, or you follow the blog. And if you follow the blog, then the default behavior is to get an email every time there's a new post. And that could be cool as long as it's, you see, I like it when the newsletter and the blog following are actually like disjoint, right? Like, because there's some people where I'm completely happy to be on their newsletter and receive an email every month or 3. And then there are very, very few people where I want to get notified every time their site changes. I mean, like for those people, for me, I'll just set up an RSS feed, but I can see how other people might not be at that level and they'd want to get an email notification. But can you do that? Can you still subscribe to the list and sign up to be notified? Are those two separate things?
Yeah, so that notification is actually a function through WordPress.com. You have to have a WordPress. You have to have a WordPress account in order to do that.
Yeah,
and it's actually based on the RSS. So it's kind of like, you don't even need to have Jetpack installed to have that functionality there. No, I take that back. You do have to have Jetpack on your website.
Yeah, that's the bind between WordPress.com and WordPress.org.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought it was a clever implementation that you can just fire off an email that way, especially for people who are not necessarily savvy in how to manipulate different systems. Well, anyway, great presentation. Really interesting.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, thanks so much, Nock. That was really great. I learned a ton.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
And the customer was just extremely happy. I mean, this cost probably 50 times what paying MailChimp would have cost, but she just did not want to pay a shakedown. She just got her account locked out. She wouldn't get access. We tried to help her. We said MailChimp is just trying to kick you off because you're at the free level and they're not offering you any support. So this is a shakedown. It'll be way cheaper to pay it, or you can pay us a lot more and then you'll have control. And she's like, I'd rather pay you a lot more. So
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess we're to the point where we can chat and answer